This is Gamer 1745, and we're going to be taking a look here at Panzer Corps 2. Now, they sent me a save to the end of the second mission because the way this works, we need to go in and see. We want to see the intro. And I will be explaining a lot of the new and interesting features with this game. So this is just the end of the last mission. Okay, we really don't care about that, but we'll care about what's coming up here next. Not my victory. Okay, good morning here, General. Good morning, Lieutenant. I apologize for the early meeting, but we have important news from General Franco. Need your help. We're ahead of schedule in securing the national stronghold at Seville. It was our pleasure, Capitana. I trust the General is so far pleased. He actually sort of looks like Warlimont, which was one of the commanders of the German forces down there. Indeed, as a result, he has announced the next objective, Madrid. Whoa, that's quite ambitious. Are we ready to advance directly towards the capital? General Franco aims to end this coup quickly. Lieutenant, a decision I fully support. We are still several hundred miles from Madrid, but we believe we can cover the distance quickly before the Republic can properly assemble its forces to stop us, which is a critical factor. Primary objective is to control the 3 victory hexes by the end of the scenario. They're the sort of 3 right here. Bonus objective, capture all victory hexes, which include these and Batterhaus out here. The only major obstacle between us and Madrid here is Rio Guardina. Pardon me, where is Rio? I don't see that anywhere on the map. I'm at the Gardena River. Of course, please continue. As I was saying, the Republican forces are attempting to muster forces to block us from crossing the Gardena River. But the majority of their forces are only local militias. My general, as long as we clear out the supporting units, our Spanish friends will be able to have no trouble in clearing out the enemy infantry rabble. Capitina, I have a question. What of the Republican army base at Badajoz? General Franco thinks we can and should bypass them. If you wish to take the base, I'm afraid I cannot authorize any Spanish infantry to support. I see, my general. I propose we have the Spanish support our advance to occupy the objectives along the Gardena River and then have them dig in and protect our gains. It is then up to us to continue towards I don't know, Cacaceres, or take the detour if we can to take Batterhaus. Very well, informed General Franco. The Condor Legion is ready to move out. To victory for Germany and for Spain. Okay, that's the briefing. We also, my general, the Spanish nationalists, have recently captured a number of enemy vehicles. One type is a prototype light tank. The other type is a reliable recon vehicle. I think they're willing to let us use them as equipment. Okay, so we're going to authorize that to get some captured equipment, and we also have a tenacious defender, +1 for each adjacent enemy unit. Okay. So if there's like 2 adjacent enemy units, you get a +2, that kind of thing. All right. So we have some captured equipment that we have potentially buying. We have 3 slots left. And earlier I guess I captured that, but it's also the Trebia, which they made somewhere, I think, between 12 and 20. There's some dispute over production numbers. It's armed with 2 Lewis machine guns. This is the 3rd scenario in the Spanish Civil War. I've got a lot to talk about on the Spanish Civil War, but I'm going to save that for other streams. We're going to focus mostly here. So on coming up, so there's two earlier missions. The first one is getting the Spanish Army of Africa, or up into Spain. So I have. Oh, they also wanted me to point out some of the new ease of use features, like they have. If you want to do replacements or elite replacements for all, you can just click this, and it'll get your units. We have plenty of points, but not any more. Or we have some more Italian slots because we do have a little bit of Italian auxiliaries here. So we're going to, let's see, we're going to put the artillery. Here. Here, I think. Put the armored cars out here along the road. Tanks for some aggressive action. Let's put you over there. You here. I'm gonna add an actually we're gonna pull that up. What I'm gonna do here is come over for Spain, and we have just enough points to buy an artillery piece, and yes, we need enough slots is the real point. And we'll use trucks to keep it somewhat mobile, and then we'll support these guys here. And I guess some AA guns there. And we have our Air Force. Put a fighter over here. Fighter bomber. Yeah, it's a reconnaissance. Actually, Ju-52s, as you probably know, were heavily used in Spain as bombers. Would you mind going through all the units that can be bought, please? Well, it's potentially an extensive list here. So we can see all of the both captured and I guess non-captured for Italy. We can see, you know, and this is just the Italian tree. Come over for Germany. So I'm not going to give it too much detail. So I do want to play and show off some of the features. Currently, we only have the Panzer 1A. They did, I know, later send Panzer 1Bs. There's a dev diary released, I think it was yesterday, that goes into all of the new, at least listing all of the new units. I wish I had the link to it. If somebody knows it, maybe they could post that. Yeah, dev diary. There we go. Thank you, Bruno. I believe this is handling that. Yes, so there's the full list there of all the new stuff available, not just available to this scenario. And we can see some of the early various bombers. So you can get that full thing there. Okay, so that's the starting deployment I think we're going to do. Now, as we can see up here in the corner, there are the Germans, the Condor Legion, the Nationalist, and the Republicans. So there's going to be per turn, sort of 3 turns, if you get my meaning. You have the Nationalist turn, the German turn, and the Republican turn. And here, it's instead of like a highly scripted out AI type, you can do order our allies to attack, and they'll go after objective hexes. Order allies to defend, they'll move to defend objective hexes, or order to hold your allies in position. It comes as standard is to attack. So, but if you want to change it, so say if your allies are becoming very aggressive, and if we wanted to go after a battle horse, we could hold them up at some point until we can support them. So that is a really interesting new feature. I read it, but in-game is better. Thanks. Oh, I understand. And so we will be taking more looks at that. All right, so that's our deployment. We're going to push here, up here, and try to hold and push the main front through this way. So Oh, that's right. No. Well, let's maybe him. I'm going to click there, and we're going to assign heroes. Some other ones had been assigned earlier. Okay, so there we go. So he gets a hero in that unit. Okay, so we have the initiative here. Now, there is an annoying anti-aircraft gun there. So what I'm going to do is focus my attentions on it. Right. Now, I want to also get rid of the enemy fighter. And I'm going to move both of my fighters over here. No, that's not the fighter. This is the other fighter. That way we should get mass attack. There we go. Oh, we should also move this other fighter up here too. Oh no, actually, yeah. Hopefully we'll bring it all the way down. No, it doesn't look like it. But we still might be able to move him close enough here in a moment to finish him off. Now we have a reconnaissance aircraft. We're going to, let's see, no, we're going to send him over here. Let's do this. Okay, that's sort of exposing out the forces that way. We're going to use our SDKFZ Sonderkraftfahrzeug. Germans love it when I butcher their language. And we got some more over there. So the reconnaissance, I like to use them for reconnaissance, but also good hit and run tactics. We're doing here. Trying to strip away their artillery protection. Overrun. Oh, good. So actually we've done very good against the artillery. And now we're going to use our other, well, our ground attack. Let's come in some old FT-17s. Hit them. Now these are not particularly good bombers for going after mechanized forces, but still comes in the realm of better than nothing. A good suppressive. Focus on these armored cars. And we've got another armored car over here, so let's help out the first bomb that reduce its effectiveness. This is Panzer Corps 2, the new DLC coming out that's focusing on the Spanish campaign. Okay, now we're going to bring up, how far do we risk this? Okay, which one does that have? Okay, they can come up here and unload. So as to help protect that just in case. Let's see if we can, walk this up here and take out that fighter ultimately. I like to clear the skies as much as I can. use armored cars as reconnaissance to spot the enemy and maybe actually kill the enemy. See, if we use this, the little L3s here, we get the reconnaissance bonus from there. But if we attack with this, we get the mass attack bonus because this hasn't attacked yet. And we still get the reconnaissance even though that's attacked. So trying to balance out the effective capabilities. Well, let me undo that while I still can. How close can I get this? Oh, I can get this to here. That's good. I think then we will just push to there. And we're going to bring up the anti-tank guns as well. Just to support, because most of these, this is a flamethrower, as you may have noticed. Most of the vehicles are just machine gun tanks, which the Germans learned that it was a bit of a problem with being that way and not having proper gunned vehicles. Spain, I think we've moved all the units here. Okay, now it's the nationalists' turn. Okay, they're doing us a favor by taking out the anti-aircraft or the anti-tank gun. Good work, armored cars. Okay, so we pushed up here a bit. We've got them surrounded there. So we're going to, yeah, let's move in here. Move the AA gun up here. Thanks for following. Weakened it a bit with the AA gun. We want to completely doom this thing. I would much prefer, like we'd have just done, leave none of it alive so that it won't, they won't just heal it and come back at us again. Let's see, can we get that up to there? Yes, we can. So what I think we're going to do here is bring these guys up. Hopefully they won't get jumped too badly. Okay, now we can use some of our air power here that will actually be next to fighter for fighter escort duties. No, I think I'm going to send in some bombers here. No, that won't probably do any good. Really want to take that guy down instead of let him. Well, now they're encircled. That wasn't the most optimal of outcomes. The armored car up to get a recon bonus. Oh, there we go. Want to fully take out the tank while we can. Let's take the town out while we're at it. Push up that way. Hopefully they'll be able to do a direct assault on the artillery with the, well, we could help that a bit maybe. So part of the challenge of this is to try to coordinate our attacks, because other than our minor Italian allies here, we don't have any infantry, so we are at a weakened position. I guess we'll strike here. All right, so we have some potentially dangerous, that's a BT-5, more armored cars, which, not that they're not dangerous, they are, but can't. We could go up there, but we lose our trucks, so I'm not going to do that. Yeah, these guys will come here, so any attacks by the tanks will get some protection. Those flame tanks are a bit weak. They're going to hold that victory hex there. Command per unit or per all is the Allies command per unit per. I'm not entirely understanding the question there, because these slots here are for Germany, these are for Italy, for auxiliaries. None of those affect the Italians. I don't get to buy the Italians, don't pay they're like completely different. The command to attack. Oh, it's all. It's not per unit. It's theater wide or mission wide. I get you what you're meaning. So yeah, so you just set the general. If you want them to hold, you hold. You want them to defend, they'll defend. You know, focus on that. So we're supposed to be, you know, coordinating as best we can here. Okay, so we can fire at that. So we'll support our allies and move up. We're going to inch a little bit forward, but keeping mutual support there. Being up on a hill, they get a little better air range than if they move off of it. So they're doing a little better. Don't know if we need to recon anything at the moment. Sort of see where we were moving. Okay. Yeah, it's not quite like the idea of being able to select, say, 3 infantry units and give, you know, an objective over here, and 3 infantry units and give an objective over there. Isn't quite, you know, or tell some to defend and some to attack or whatever it might be. It's not quite that detailed as far as I know. And again, everything, we are still in beta on this. Things are subject to change. Bugs, if there's any, well, we know there's bugs in the game, just games are that way. Still to be fixed, I'm sure. Okay, now these BT5s are up on high ground. And we see some Guardia Civil, Civil Guard here. Now, this is the beta. I don't know if they still have artistic time to change things, but I'm going to give a little feedback here on these. I'm a bit of a small arms buff. That supposedly Sten gun here, the magazine's on the wrong side. It's supposed to be on the other side of the gun. So that, I don't know how hard that would be to fix. The Spanish seem to be armed with Enfield rifles. At least that's how now these are the Moroccan, or the nationalists. They're armed with what I take to be Mausers. Probably both sides would be best if they were armed with Mauser rifles. And the Sten gun wasn't developed until 1941. The Republicans did make copies of the MP-28. Think the MP-18 of World War I, but with a stick magazine. The Republicans did that, so that has a wooden stock. Again, the magazine's on the other side. Only one rare German model had the magazine on that side. Would be all right, but both sides could use a Mauser broom handle pistol with a shoulder stock. Astra and Royale both made copies or versions of it that were full auto. So if you want to do a submachine gun, more appropriate to Spain, because I don't think the Germans sent any MP-38s to Spain, and I don't know that the Italians gave any their nice Beretta submachine guns over to the Spaniards. So just an idea, because the Spanish Mauser was sort of the main gun. Okay, so we see that there, and I know there's some more tanks around here. Okay, there's the armored cars. So what? See if we were to. Okay. Actually, no, hold on. I'm going to take that back. We're going to come up here, attack and retreat. Again, try to use the armored cars as a flexible operation. Okay, we're going to send them to here. We're going to go up to there. Let's move. That's a bit risky. They may come after that artillery. They're going to stay back holding there. But, you know, for that, they're doing a lot of wonderful models, and like the Turbia, which I had to actually look up, I hadn't heard of. You know, a lot of wonderful historical details. So this isn't a major criticism. It's just some areas that are sort of things that I know a bit about. Okay, where do we want to put our, I guess, support. Okay. And see, if you don't kill the unit, they keep getting reinforced here. So we want to hit them fairly hard. The new DLC, focusing on the Spanish Civil War. Now, what we're going to do here, and one of the reasons I'm coming and hitting these 3 units, because I think if I do this right, we should be able to put 1 fighter here. here that will be next to all three of those, I think. I think he'll be next to all three of those units. So he's flying escorts to all of them. Now, and he's going to, well, hold on. We're going to wait just because he may retreat and we may do a strafing run with that. But I think we're going to do a, oh, doesn't look, oh, wrong, no, this vehicle, yes. Oh, overrun, great. So we'll come up to here and go after the artillery piece, weakening that. Let the Republicans take care of that further. Oh yeah, Panzer Corps, the original, now PC1. Very good game. This is entirely kept the original spirit, so if you liked the original, see that moved. I wouldn't for sure have known which way it was going to go. And so we'll give it a strafing run and you'll still escort the fighter bombers there. And yeah, we'll kill that. Let that rest for the moment. Okay, so they have a anti-tank gun up there, so we really don't want to go deal too much with that anti-tank gun. We're going to move these two here. Have them attack first. Okay, that's actually going to do that for them. You're going to come there. Okay, now they're fully suppressed. Getting the recon bonus. And hitting them a little bit. Don't know if I want to move, how much I want to move away, because I know there's more tank threats out there. If this attacks any of these artillery, it has the anti-tank gun to give supporting fire to them, is sort of my thought there. Let's move these guys. Okay, first, before we move them, we're lowering the barrels down, and we're moving them over here. So this way they're no longer an anti-aircraft gun, they're now an anti-tank gun. Or infantry, you can do fire on infantry if you wish. All right. Good, they're going to make sure they finish that off, hopefully. Yes. They're in circles, so, well, they're dead now, but they couldn't have gotten resupply or reinforcements. The artillery piece surrendered. And they took out the BT-5s. Okay. Herr Obert Wagner, heads up, my general. You've got eyes on a Republic officer in the field. Apparently, it's Commandante Varga. Capitana Varga. Yes, before you ask, he is my brother. But I know we're sort of missing. Well, maybe we should watch the action here. And there he is. I just played about this far in it. But make no mistake, he will forever be our enemy. He will never be forgiven for the side he has chosen, the things he has done in this room. Okay. I urge utmost caution whenever you encounter his unit. He is the most capable and relentless fighter. Okay. And he functions, if you notice, most normal strength. You can have sort of super strength units, but most normal strength armor units are at 10. He is at 15. And it looks like he may have a bunch of extra stars there. So, yeah, he's a dangerous unit. I've not really fought him yet. But that is why I've been keeping these anti-tank guns up at the front. And he's in a Vickers Mark III, the commercial tanks of the time. And these guys are now pushing on down here. So we're going to... Okay, we can easily afford that. Bring some artillery support back this way. Oh, can they get around to there? Probably not. But I don't know good enough reason they can come to here. Yeah, I don't know about play balancing on this. They have this one was the campaign was started at the second hardest difficulty over, not the middle one, but the one just easier from the middle one. And that's what it was set as, just to give you a general idea of what we're looking at here for difficulty in this playthrough. Okay, we're going to let the Spaniards fight the anti-tank guns over there, because since we don't have, other than the Italians, don't have any infantry. Okay, so we're going to put the squeeze on Commandante Varga here. Okay, they can get to there and unload, so that's what we're going to do. They moved into the mountains. Now this also just has either an MG34, which or an MG15. I don't know. The Panzer ones have MG15s in them as their primary armament, and when they were sent to Spain, and they started to encounter T-26 Soviet light tanks. And they were found to not be so effective against them, because they had a sort of a low-powered but a 76 millimeter gun on them. I think it's that. So the Germans were very quickly developed some ammo that would load into the machine gun that would have, we're going to reinforce. Yeah, we're going to come up here and raid these guys. Let's see if we can fall back. Oh, not as far as I want. I guess it's too rough ground. Okay, well, they're just going to be stuck where they are, I guess. That was a bit of a mistake. Now, we haven't really used our air power, but what we're going to do with that here, because we know he's just outside, he has to know, I guess, my air power range. Okay. Oh. I guess we're going to risk coming up to this airbase. Hopefully the Spanish won't abandon it. Okay, they have a bit more range. Hit it a little bit. Yeah. Let me move that up to there. Not nice of them. Well, he can move up. Okay. Yeah, we want a fighter up there as well. Not sure quite why they're not allowed to be moved up there. Well, I guess what we'll do is move him to here. so we can support over. And so they developed a machine gun bullet that would fire out of the standard machine gun that up to 500 yards could penetrate a T-26's hull. So that's how they dealt with it. But that they really realized the limitation of machine gun only tanks. Now, of course, the Panzer, so I don't want that to fall. Well, they have the anti-tank support, so that's probably pretty good. That's enough. The Panzer Is were really just meant as training tanks, as proof of concept for, maneuver warfare. Bombers looks like it can't destroy, it can't deploy to a small airfield. Okay, that's probably Kushan. That would make sense, because yes, that is a smaller airbase than these. That would make sense. I wasn't quite thinking in those terms, but that does make sense. Okay, I don't think we need to move our reconnaissance aircraft. These guys look like they'll survive here for the moment with the artillery backup. Alright, I'm liking this reasonably well. Let the Nationalists have their turn. Good job over here. And they leave my airbase unprotected. Oh man. Maybe it's enough of a death trap that they won't come in there. Oh, where you're still? Oh, they're still stuck as an anti-tank gun. Oop! I forgot to point it back into the sky. I get some artillery support. Which we still lose the objective hex. Lovely. And we've just lost air base. Oh good. Oh good, that means we lost those aircraft. Yeah. Oh no, they rebased over here. Oh good. Okay, at least we didn't lose the aircraft. At least we didn't. Now here, no, we're just going to be on the defensive with that artillery. Okay, well, since we're here, let's point you back in the sky. Get some better cover. I think we're going to surround these BTs, take them out. And no, moving you over this way. Okay, now you can come to here. Well, we'll think about that because I want to use... Well, they're not letting us go anywhere. Okay, well, guess we're stuck at this airbase because of rebasing. Now, that Vickers tank disappeared on us. How unfriendly of them. But we do have nice anti-tank gun here. Overrun. Well, that's nice. That was a nice withdrawal, and they surrendered, and we're going to fall this back for protection of the anti-tank gun. And let's see what more we can push up. Gotta watch out for the anti-tank gun, because if we were to come after these guys, they get hit. Oh no, those are the friendlies. Okay, well we can hit these guys. I want to stay away from that. There we here. That's an armored car. Use the high ground, push them back, but they're not. Okay, now we're going to, let's move you to here, because we want to support the infantry attack up here. So we want to move the artillery that way. They've fired, so they're going to come over here and give them some AA support. What do I want to do? Do I pound these guys some? Yeah, I guess so. That may, no, still not good enough odds. I entirely forgot about him. Badajoz is or was a fortified city, and I guess that's what that bunker is representing there. Let's recon. I know we're not going to do any more. Just wondered where. Oh, there he is out there, Comandante Varga. We don't want to go near him. No, not really anything I want to attack. Okay. Or they're using the high ground to advantage. And they're focusing on one unit at a time. Thank you, Spanish troops, for dealing with the anti-tank guns so